Danny, Jake, and B-Dub recapping the ACMs from last night. Let's just get some thoughts here. First things first, are we all in favor of the switching over from broadcast television to Amazon Prime and the streaming services? I vote a hell yay on that.
Yeah, 100% on board.
Yeah. The West Coast getting to join the East Coast and watching it when it actually happens, I think is great because for years, I always hated us having to stay off of socials and keep mum to our audience and pretend like we don't already know the results before our audience gets to know the results.
Three of us have talked about that for the past couple of years, and this year, for the first time, the ACMs didn't care what people thought. They already announced days ago that Zach Top and Ella Langley were already winners, and no one really said anything. So I agree, watching at 5 o'clock as opposed to waiting and we see all the stuff, that's what spoils it for me. I'm 100% with you, Jake.
Look, you started at 5 if you were home. If you got home at 6, you started it in progress. But it was wrapped by 7:30-ish last night. It flowed. Instead of having to wait another half hour of a ton of breaks and lull time, it was it flowed nicely. It sounded good. I don't know what Amazon does different than broadcast TV, but it sounds better than it ever has, especially if you got a nice system at home. But even on a regular TV, the quality was good.
Now, so let's talk about that. Danny was talking about before you jumped on and joined us, Dub. Danny was having streaming troubles. Maybe this was an internet problem that Danny was having. You didn't have any troubles, Dub?
Well, no. I mean, I've got we're fortunate to have Ziply fiber at home, so we've got the gig up, gig down, so we've got plenty of bandwidth.
That might be the issue.
Yeah.
I had serious problems. I had pixelation at one point when Miranda and Ella were singing. It jumped a whole verse, and then it was pixelated. And then I was like, wait, what's going on? And then it cleared up for a little while. I just felt like the sound was off. I think the prompters had gone out a couple times because Old Dominion had called them out and said, oh, we have audio. Okay, here we go. So it was kind of interesting. It might have just been my feed, and if it was, I hope that's the case. Because I'm going to watch it again tonight. They are going to rerun it tonight, starting again at 5 o'clock, and they're going to leave it on Amazon Prime for here on out, so you can watch it again. But I'm going to go back and watch it again tonight because I want to see if it looks better.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it live at baseball practice last night, and I know this has been a problem in the past. I still haven't seen the whole show because I didn't get to. If you watch it live, I know there's usually no problems with this. If you try to watch anything live in the immediate aftermath, if you try to watch it delayed, which I know you did, Dub, just slightly delayed, you're going to be fine. In the immediate aftermath, if you try to watch Amazon replay of any live event immediately after it is concluded, it's a disaster. You can't do it. It was crashing over and over and over again. I watched that first performance, which I thought was cool. I watched that 35 times because it would crash. I watched Dan and Shay's performance 20 different times just trying to get through it in the middle of Shay's performance, which I thought was awesome. That was my favorite moment of watching it, but I watched it 20 times because it would get to Shay's note and would crash in the middle of his note, and I'd have to watch the performance again, and I never got through the whole thing. But I
who'd
did
have thought
enjoy
that
that
Shay Mooney holding the note on Tequila would crash Amazon? Who'd have thought? He's still singing. Still singing.
As far as
been
I
12
know,
hours.
As far as I know, he's still holding that note.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he made everyone hold my beer. Let me show you how this is done, people. It was amazing.
It was crazy good. So
Stapleton's face was my favorite moment. He was just like,
yeah, very good, son. Very good. It was probably the longest note I have ever heard anybody hold on to in country music. My God, it seemed like it was going forever.
It was cool. I mean, he's one of my favorite voices.
It was almost as long as the national anthem.
So the obvious things that we got to talk about, Stapleton won again, which is never a surprise to anybody. I think, does anybody have any problem with any of the award winners?
No, Lainey doing the sweep of Album of the Year, Whirlwind, was incredible. Obviously, there's nobody bigger than her as far as female artists right now. And, I know there was some people did she really earn Entertainer of the Year last year? No question about it this year. She absolutely had an incredible year professionally, personally, all around, is a great ambassador for country music. She is, which is what Entertainer is part of. And that's what I would think was people were like, well, she shouldn't have won Entertainer of the Year. I'm like, she was on Yellowstone, so she did more. Now she's got the Wrangler relationship. So her booty's all over TV, wearing nice jeans, may I add, not for scandalous reasons. But she's an incredible ambassador to country music, and she's a great role model to kids. You can take your kid to a Lainey Wilson show and it's going to be a positive, uplifting experience. She's great.
That's the word. The ambassador word is the word, I think, where she deserves it more than anybody. The uplifting that she does of the younger artists coming in, just the way that she models as far as role models country music inside the genre, outside the genre, the way she uplifts the rest of the industry. That's the reason that we give her Entertainer of the Year. It's more than just the music. It's more than just the way she models it on stage. It's just the way that she represents country music.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Vito.
I was like, the one where I was like, I mean, Brooks and Dunn winning Vocal Duo of the Year. It's Brooks and Dunn. I understand. They're back in the spotlight. They've got the redo albums that they've put out. But
that's just their same songs again.
Yes, with
and
other
it's not
people
even
singing
them
with
singing
them.
it.
Right.
100%.
So I just, that was the one that was like, really, it is what it is. I was a little surprised. I wasn't let down that You Look Like You Love Me won Single of the Year. That obviously was a massive song. But Shabuzi was number one in the Billboard Hot 100 for like 19 straight weeks. How is that not the Single of the Year? That thing, you could not turn on a radio station, a TV show, a concert. You could not go into a country bar without hearing Bar Song Tipsy on there. I thought that should have been the winner for Single of the Year.
It was those two, but let's remember that the voting comes from members and radio stations. It's not a fan voted thing. So it depends on how the radio stations voted and members voted. I know Shabuzi was right there. I voted for Shabuzi, and it was awesome. But again, it was so tight. But I agree with you, Dub. That was one of the songs that Emily even called it. When we talked to Emily last year, she was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be a song of the summer." I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens.
You couldn't avoid it. Like it was just, and it was instant. I used to not claim being a millennial until Gen Z started to be the one that people talk crap about. And now I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm in the millennial generation. I'm on the beginning end. I'm on that weird, between the tail end of Gen X and the beginning of millennials where I grew up, had no internet growing up and then it came around. So yeah, I'm a proud millennial at this point because it's cool to be one now.
You came out of the bunker.
Yeah, I did. I came out of the bunker. I'm like, hey, it's not so bad. Now I understand how the boomers felt and Gen X felt, 10, 20, 30 years ago. So like with Tipsy playing that song by Jaquan when I was in Top 40 back in the day, brand new. And then I heard that. I'm like, oh, I like this. This is cool. Needless to say, I love that, Dirt Cheap. Was it Dirt Cheap won Song of the Year? Yeah. Written by one dude. And then some of the other nominees in that song I think one of them had, the Post Malone song had 9 co-writers on it. I'm like, what? The most impactful song with Dirt Cheap and the story behind it, written by one person. And then I had some help. Clearly he did. He had 9 writers on it.
Yeah. You could tell by the girl when she was announcing all the names. By the time she got to the 9th writer, she was almost out of breath. She couldn't even say Ernest, Morgan Wallen, Post Malone. Okay, got it. It was crazy.
And the final one I want to talk about is before we get on to the real thing I gathered us all here today to talk about. The Zach Top, no argument there. Ella Langley, no argument there. Red Clay Strays. I have to admit a lack of real ignorance about Red Clay Strays. I can't remember who else was nominated in that category against them.
Is Rascal Flatts nominated for Vocal Group of the Year? They just announced their tour this year. They didn't do anything last year, which is what you're voting on 2024 for the 2025 winners. How did Rascal Flatts, Red Clay Strays get nominated over Parmalee? Parmalee gets snubbed again. Like that to me
I'm
is
talking
just
about new, but yes, agreed.
Yeah,
we're talking about for new.
Sorry, end rant.
He's
let's
group
circle back around to that. But for new, who was up against Red Clay Strays for new? Was it like Tiger Lily Gold? I assume was in there.
They
who
were
else
duo
was in that category.
God, that's a great question.
I think it was Ella
Langley
have
this prep
and Zach Top.
No, group or new. It is all grouped together for new.
Let me Google that for you.
It was new.
I don't have the
list. I got it. Here we go. New group of the year. We should probably be prepared for this, but
well, I didn't expect to bring it up. I'm not that familiar with Red Clay Strays, honestly.
Oh, here we go.
I know they're well
group
loved.
of the year. New duo group of the year. So it was Red Clay Strays. Why aren't they? Oh, Restless Road was in there. Treaty Oak Revival. So it was 3. But yeah, Restless Road, I thought. Restless Road's awesome, by the way.
I'm fine with Red Clay Strays winning that one.
That's Kane Brown's group. Yeah.
Yeah, and a Restless Road.
All right, cool. Then good with that one. Okay, Parmalee should absolutely be winning more
Okay, so
awards
we're on
than
the existing group now?
Yeah.
Yes.
How does Rascal Flatts get nominated over Parmalee? I mean, come on.
It was like the Brooks and Dunn nomination. And your winner is, it's like, guys, come on.
Love Gary, Jay, and Joe Don. They are incredible, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't know they were going on tour until the beginning of 2025.
Right.
We didn't know they were getting back together at all. So how are they the group of the year over Parmalee or even nominated in that? Old Dominion winning it, no problem with that. There is nobody bigger in that group category.
True, 100%. And I think you're right, Dub, because we are 6 months behind. So next year, it should be Rascal Flatts for sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Next year,
maybe. They have one song
that
that did nothing.
Well, it's still on the charts. It's kind of slowly creeping. We'll see what happens.
The one with Jonas Brothers, that one?
Yeah, I dare you.
It's okay.
It's all right. Yeah. Is it going to be a hit? We don't know.
No. We do know, and the answer is no. It's not. No. It's not good enough to be like, yeah, Old Dominion's going to continue winning that for a while.
Of course,
Old Dominion is chugging out the hits. But no, I agree. Let's get Parmalee the due that they deserve.
They definitely deserve it for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the real reason I wanted to gather today, and the real reason I even texted you guys and said, hey, let's get on a chat. I think I have trouble with the no-shows at the ACMs. I am bothered by the fact that Morgan Wallen didn't show up. I'm bothered by the fact, I don't know the reason why Luke Combs didn't show up. Luke Combs has a strong history of showing up to these things, but I'm starting to have trouble in my heart with Morgan Wallen not, I guess, showing respect to the industry. And I just wanted to get on and talk about it a little bit. Why wasn't Morgan Wallen there? I know nobody really has this answer, but the fact that Morgan Wallen's claiming this outlaw image, and I realize that I guess the industry and has no leverage over Morgan Wallen, but the fact that he continues to snub not only the industry, but really it feels like country music in general, and we continue to beg him to continue to show us love, it feels like we need to start recognizing these red flags. He doesn't need us, and I understand that, but maybe we need to act like we don't need him as well.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I don't know why he didn't show up. I mean, you have 2 events a year, the ACMs and the CMAs. Just make plans around those 2 days because you know you're going to be busy. You're going to get nominated. As big as you are, you know you're going to get nominated. Unless he's just like, look, you guys blew me off for so long. You kicked me out. Screw you guys. I don't care.
He didn't have other plans. He was, I guess I saw in the New York Post today, he was throwing a football around with Tom Brady, which perfectly cool. I would cancel a lot of things to go throw around a football with Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady. Like, that's a really, really cool thing. But this is an event based in the industry that you tenuously belong to, where you're going to be honored by people who you would consider your peers. You can't show up.
You know, Jake, I actually have been doing some thinking about that and/or asked ChatGPT to give me the top 5 reasons that Morgan didn't show up. Would you like to hear them?
I don't want to hear them. I want to hear your thoughts on it, B-Dub. I don't care what ChatGPT has to say. I want to hear what you think.
Hear me out here. The relevance of award shows has been declining more and more every single year. Nobody watches them on TV, which is why the ACMs moved to streaming. Do they matter anymore? Yeah. Do they matter to do them every single year?
Yeah, they do. That gets the media talking about it. It gets us talking about it as part of the media. Like, these are accolades that they post on their wall. It matters to the people. It still matters.
I see both sides. I do. Because
what's the other side?
Well, the other side is like, I'm with Dub. It doesn't matter. It's declining. Every year they're like, they dropped 10%. They dropped 3%. They only had 6 million voters.
That's because people watch less TV. It still matters.
I get that, and I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying is I see, like, me as a fan, I want to watch the award shows because I like them. I like to see those people. When they don't show up, it upsets me, and I agree with that. But I also see the other half, Dub, saying it doesn't really matter because somehow, some way, we'll catch all the information because they're going to throw it at us anyways, even if we don't watch. So I'm kind of down the middle. I kind of like, I love watching it. I love being a part of it. If I miss it, I'll catch it tomorrow.
Okay. All right. It's the disrespect that I think is, it bothers me. It bothers me.
Well, I in Morgan's defense, I mean, not based upon his own, I mean, not that it wasn't based upon certain actions, that happened on a Ring doorbell camera in 2021, but, they didn't want anything to do with him for a few years.
Totally. And I guess...
And it wasn't because of the fans. The fans obviously clearly moved on quicker than the industry did. So maybe he's like, do I need this to succeed? And at this point, the answer for him, at least, is no.
And I want to make that clear, too. I understand that him not showing up doesn't hurt him at all in the pocketbook or with his fans or anything like that. What I guess I want to us to decide as an industry and as, I guess, a fan base is, do we care and do we need to be careful about how we treat him? Because did you guys see the him on Theo Von or see any of those clips? One of the most the things that continues to ring in my mind is he mentioned, Theo Von was talking to him about Zach Top, and one thing that he said out loud, and I didn't think I was surprised that he even said this, is that Morgan said, "I don't listen to country music that much," and I perked up and said, like, "Whoa, that was quite a thing to admit." He said, "I am aware of Zach Top, and I think he's solid," and for a major country music star to even say that out loud, I am aware of Zach Top. Yeah, you better be aware of Zach Top. Like, yeah, no shit, you're aware of Zach Top was the thing I thought.
Everybody's aware of Zach Top right now.
Like, you're the major country music star. Like, you should be aware of Zach Top. Like, everybody's aware of Zach Top.
Can we take a break from the serious side so I can read my jokes?
Jeez.
Well, I'm kind of in the middle of my rant, but yes, Dub, let's pause for your Chat GPT bit.
All right, here.
When's the last time you've had a mic open and not mentioned that word? Go ahead, continue.
Chat GPT?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like
20 minutes ago.
You haven't even had breakfast.
Hey, you know what? Every great comedian has writers. Mine just happens to be AI. Sorry. Sue me.
Every great comedian has writers?
Yeah, they have a bunch of writers.
Yeah, people have write jokes for comedians.
No.
If artists can have songwriters, I can have a joke writer, and it could be a computer.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought this is good. All right, here we go. Top 5 reasons, and watch for my video to get 1 million views when I record it myself separately later on.
Why did Morgan Wallen not show up at the ACMs?
Here's your top 5 reasons Morgan Wallen didn't show up to the ACMs. Number 5, he heard it was a black tie event and said, nah, I don't do formal or punctual. Number 4, still emotionally recovering from that time Luke Combs beat him in literally everything. Yes. Number 3, he got stuck in a Bass Pro Shop and refused to leave until they played his entire album over the loudspeakers. Number 2, he thought ACM stood for another cancel moment and wanted no part of it.
That's
and number 1,
ChatGPT, good job.
The number 1 reason Morgan Wallen didn't show up to the ACMs, he was busy auditioning for the Bachelor Nashville edition. Roses, whiskey, and emotional damage included.
Do that one again.
He was busy auditioning for the Bachelor Nashville edition. Roses, whiskey, and emotional damage included.
Last 2 were really elegant.
I thought so too. Yeah.
But that's another cancel moment. Awesome joke. Great ChatGPT.
That's right.
Great joke.
Is that the new updated version of ChatGPT?
Yeah, pay for it, right? You must. Those are pretty good.
I do the baller on a budget price. Yeah, no, I don't pay for that one. No,
99 cents a month.
Oh, man.
Very nice. All right. Well, I just wanted to. I've been having trouble in my heart with the Morgan Wallen issue in my heart because I really love. I think he's a genius. I think he's like one of he's the best. I really like his music, but I've been having trouble like the SNL moments, which I now believe was like nothing, just blowing up into something. And we pay him a lot of respect, and I felt the same way about Zach Bryan. Like, it's very clear to me Zach Bryan doesn't want to be a part of country music. Like he just wants to be like a songwriter and a folk artist. And the fact that we tried to like get him into our family and he doesn't want to be here, I feel like, well, let's just let him go. Let's just go let him do what he wants to do.
If Morgan's the problem, we might be the reason.
Just in case you didn't know. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, no,
okay.
That was a mic drop moment that Doug did there. And
before we go, I want to hear both your guys' favorite performance. Just one.
The Keith Urban tribute was fantastic. Stapleton doing Blue Ain't Your Color. It was Kelsey Ballerini killed it. She's on a whole nother level, too. I think she is a strong Entertainer of the Year contender in future years as well. Her tour was incredible.
There's going to have to be some other people get out of her way, I think, though.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. But she had a great performance. The Keith Urban tribute to me was the best performance of the night. I thought it was awesome.
Okay.
And it, like at the end when he pulled out the guitar from under his chair and started rocking the guitar with Brothers Osborne. It was epic, cool. Man. I was
cool.
Like, so he just has a guitar casually sitting. Of course, he's Keith Urban.
Of course he is, yeah. It could be a tiny guitar. He'd still play the hell out of it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jake, who was your favorite?
I watched Dan and Shay probably 20 times. Get it?
What was your... Because of the internet thing. That's funny. I get it.
Because I couldn't help it. I really loved... I'm a kid, of the 90s, so like I really loved Backstreet Boys and Rascal Flatts. I thought that was really, really cool. Really, and Shay, I thought was great. I loved seeing Leanne Rimes make a reappearance.
She's good. Yeah,
I thought that was really cool. I thought her performance was a little soft. I would have liked
good.
A little
Does
more
Jelly Roll look though? Like you saw, like when the nominees flashed and how big he used. You don't realize how much weight he's lost until you saw him in person, and where he was a couple years ago. Like he looks so good.
Right, the incredible shrinking man.
The love between he and his wife
is awesome.
They're sure adorable together. Those two.
They are.
Yeah.
Mine by far was Lainey Wilson's Whirlwind. I was mesmerized by
great.
it. It was so good. I was like, this is why she wins Entertainer of the Year. It took me back to when we saw her at the Cascades Amphitheater last September with Zach Top and Jackson Dean. I was like, this girl has got her shit together. It's awesome. Yeah.
Bobby Bones having Jelly Roll sign a jar of jelly, I thought was great bit, and the coat switch with Russell Dickerson, I thought was pretty funny too.
I wanted to see Russell rip that. That would have been awesome. Yeah.
Riley Green for sure would have hulked right through that thing.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Riley Green, another star who I think, as I've always said, this is the joke about me. I cannot pick a winner to save my life. Like if I get in your corner, you might as well just start updating your resume because you're going to need to pick another thing. Like I have a long history of picking duds. But Riley Green, I really like him, and I think he's going places. I think he's going to be the next like A-level headliner, which is bad news for him. But I sure like Riley Green. I think such potential in that man. And tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I really think Riley Green is the next big thing.
He's up there. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
definitely.
He's great.
I can tell by your reaction you don't agree with me, and that sucks for Riley Green. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
No,
buddy.
I think he's
I feel bad that I got in your corner and doomed you. Me being in Riley Green is like putting you on the cover of Madden. Like it's he's going to get an injury or something, or he's going to get canceled.
Something's going to happen to him.
And I feel bad, man. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. It's all good.
You're not even a sports guy, and you understand the Madden cover thing, Jake. I love that.
I am a nerd. I do know what video games are. So
yeah, well, it was like going back to fantasy draft, and one of my buddies, my buddy Greg Ranieri down in San Diego, I was in the Country Fantasy League, which I was horrible at. He drafted Christian McCaffrey, and I'm like, dude, he's on the Madden cover. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And he got hurt preseason. He was out for 6 weeks or the whole year, something like this. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, thank you guys. Appreciate you joining me today. I had some things I had to get off my chest. ACMs were last night. Thank you to both of you for doing this with me. ACMs, overall, we're in favor of the streaming thing. What little opinion we have, but keep it on the streaming service. It's such a faster paced show, which we love.
Agreed.
And we get to watch it live.
And it's again, if you missed it, it's on tonight at 5 o'clock on Amazon Prime. Then they're going to put it up there for a couple months for you to go view it and check it out.
Wait, what's that mean? It's on tonight.
It's on again tonight. They're doing a rerun of the whole entire show again tonight at 5 o'clock.
Can't I just watch it now?
I don't think so. Not yet. Not until tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
I can't just go click play right now and watch it?
Well, I can't get to my Amazon Prime from here, but I don't believe so. I saw a note this morning saying they're going to rerun the whole show tonight at 5 o'clock.
Literally, you could pull it up on your phone right now.
But I'm talking to you guys. It's more important than watching that.
I know who our wives are. You clearly have Amazon on your phone just like I do. Can you order this? Can you order this? No, they just order it themselves. I understand.
That's funny.
Jake, you're in the same boat. We've had these conversations while we're talking about wives.
Maybe it's on the server that works at 5 o'clock today. That's possible.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's appreciate that.
No pixelation.
All right, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys. Danny's on 9 to noon. I'm on noon to 3. Dub's on 3 to
8. And 7 to midnight on Saturdays. Let's go.
Yeah, baby. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Have a good day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day.